The next section is the contacts form or the contact section. We have address, then numbers to call, and then we have email addresses. So you can edit these accordingly. On the right hand side here is where we have to do some work. In addition to just modifying the text here, we have to do some work as well. When you click on this section, edit contact form 7, we have source settings, select form, then the form style, and then the animation. Now select form, if you click on that, you see that the form that has been selected here is home contact form 5. Let's go to the dashboard and work on that form. So dashboard, then go to contact. The plugin that has been used to create this contact form is called contact form 7, and we have various contact forms that are here. The one that is displaying here, once again, the name is home contact form 5. So let's identify that and edit it. We have home contact form 5. Click on edit. The first tab here, which is the form, you can see how this form was actually created. Taking a look at the form here, it appears so beautiful, but this is the code behind it. You don't have to write any code actually, you just have to modify the content that is here. So for example, we have first name, last name, email, phone number, and message. We may want to retain all these sections, but we can delete or replace the placeholder here. The placeholder is the one that is in the middle here, the one that shows the customer or the user what exactly they can type in the text area there. For instance, first name, the placeholder is what we see here, and then last name as well. Let's modify that. In fact, we can keep the whole section empty. We can equally leave placeholders to guide them as to what we really want, even though they are the headings up here. So for instance, the first one being first name, we can modify it. If we want to keep the word first name here, we can still keep it. Then we see the placeholder here. We can replace this placeholder, or we can delete it if we don't want any placeholder. The next placeholder is here. Then email, the placeholder is info@gmail.com, and that's what we can see here. We can leave it empty, or we can type something like enter your email address. But once there is a heading here as email address, I think this label is enough. However, you can still choose to keep it. But if you don't want to keep it, then you can delete it. And if you want to replace it, then you can type something such as enter your email address. The next section is phone number, and you can see number here as placeholder. Your number, you can keep it empty or type something. Then the message section is equally there. Then this button, make an appointment, is the one that we can see here. This actually is the submit button. So it can be submit, send, request for a quote, get started, or anything like that. Save changes, and you can take a look at this. After updating this section to refresh the page and see how this will appear. So as you can see, the changes that has been made are those reflecting here. Let's continue with the settings for this form. And if you come to the form area, we have mail. Let's work on that. When someone comes to the page and sends some details, who should be the receiver of this message? Now the recipient's email address is what should be here, therefore. And it is recommended that the recipient's email address should be one related to the website. So let's say that your website is website.com. Then your email address could be info@website.com. If it is not related to the website, there will be some configuration problems. That is how contact form 7 works. There are some contact forms that will allow you to enter any email address at all. But for contact form 7, the recipient's email address should be related to the website domain. As you can see here, sender email address does not belong to the site domain. So they strictly want you to make it related. It means that here too, the email address should be one related to your website. And this here indicates the from name. So we have to and then from. The from, the first part is the name, and then the second section is the email address. So this could be the name of the website. Then the subject. The subject is what has been entered by the user. On this form, there is no area for the user to enter a subject. So you can include a default subject here. Let's say that this form, the main purpose of the form is to request for website design services. Then the subject could be, since you are not allowing the user to enter their own subject and it is a subject that you can set by default, then it could be something like new website design request. Then this section is additional headers, that is reply to, and you can see that by default it is your email. Why this shortcode your email? If you go to the top, it tells you that you can edit the mail template here. In the following fields, you can use these mail tags. This is how it works. If a user comes to the form and enters their first name, such as Ben, you as the website owner, the one who is actually going to receive this message, should receive this section just as the user typed it. In that case, in the message body, that tag your name is what has been indicated here. So this tag your name has been assigned or has been tagged to this section. So the moment the user enters Ben as their first name, you have used the tag your name, this one, to collect that field. It means that in the message body, you see the name Ben as the email that you receive from the user. The same applies to the email, the subject, and then the phone number. But clearly, because there is no subject here, you can decide to leave this subject as it is. And here too, you can enter the same subject. This is just how you will receive the email, so you can decide what elements you want to include here. When the email is sent, it will include this, so that it helps you to know exactly where the email was sent from. This will help when you have so many forms on the website and you want to know exactly where this was sent from. So the default text is this email was sent from a contact form on, so you can change everything here, such as this email was sent from a contact form on your website. The same applies to the second one, and this one is an autoresponder. It is optional anyway. This is how it works. The moment they send their message, this will also be sent to them, and then later you can follow up with your real message as a reply to the message that has been sent. So you can equally modify that section to here as well. The next section is messages. These are the default messages that will appear based on certain conditions. For instance, when the user sends the email, this is the message that will be displayed to them. Thank you for your message, it has been sent. When the message fails, the error message that will be displayed is there was an error trying to send your message, please try again. And then as you can see, the following are equally messages for different conditions. So you can modify them accordingly, but usually these are just okay. These are additional settings. Normally you wouldn't actually use this section. And this multi-step settings, multi-step has to do with a form that has multiple steps, as the name implies. For instance, on this page, we have just one step. When the user submits details on the first page, that is the end. For multi-step, they will be able to go to the next page and add more details. So if you have such a feature, then you can modify that here as well. And that one also works in this way. As they continue to send the message, if you enable this progress bar, then it will be shown to them that they have been able to make, let's say, 50% progress, 70%, so that they know what is ahead of them, the amount of work that they have executed, and what they are yet to add. So having gone through all these and modified as you deem appropriate, then you can save the changes, update the changes. So let's take a look at what we have done so far in this lesson. So from the home of the dashboard, we can go to Visit Site and open this in a new tab. And this is what we have accomplished so far. We have our sliding section, a services section, pricing plans. You can add more features, testimonials section, a call to action button, then a blog section, and finally we have a contact form section as well. So you see how easy it is to start website design actually from scratch. You simply add the various sections to the page, modify them with some real content, then you are good to go.